Hello and welcome. My name's Peter Monan, and today we are broadcasting round 4 of Go2Whoa's COVID Cup. Round 4 Brno plays host to round 4 here at the COVID Cup. This is multi-class racing with GT3 and GTEs both contending this championship. So we got 8 GTE drivers and 8 GT3 drivers tonight. Unfortunately, we've got 15 at the moment. Shouldn't be too far off maybe seeing that extra on the grid. So yeah, coming up, round 4 of the COVID Cup, hosted at Brno. There's the track at Brno. It's quite a weird track, really. It's a lot of change in height as well, so there's a variation of downhill and uphill braking zones, and yeah, it's pretty technical. Here's the event details here. So qualifying 1, 10 minutes will set the grid for race 1. Race 1 will be 8 laps. Qualifying 2, essentially a 1 lap dash, so 5 minutes, and that will set the grid for race 2, which is the longer of the two races, 16 laps with a mandatory pit stop. And the weather today in tonight's event will be light cloud here at Brno. So this track, if I'm not mistaken, is in the Czech Republic. Here is the drivers' leaderboards as it stands. So Someone Awesome extending his points advantage over Brett Want to 29 points. So he's extended that by 4 points last round. So those two are the top two in the championship. P3 Titan, the first of the GT3 runners in the series. He's doing awesome so far. And to see him himself third overall, that's an awesome effort. He's 75 points down from the lead. We've got Angry moving up a couple of positions after a good outing last week. EXO losing 1, going back to 5th. And we've got Bonicus also losing 1, going back to 6th. Eaglewind is up 1, up inside the top 7. And then we've got a train of GT3 drivers here in Ty Morgo, Penguin, You'll Be Dead, Morningstar Mike, and Blue XR8 filling spots 8 to 12. And we've got a few GTE guys here in Black Wildcats, Mitty and Nachos filling the 13 to 15th spots. And then further down from 16th to 19th, we've got Dean Vic Carcado. It was second round tonight as well. He was new last week to the series, so he'll be looking to make up a few spots tonight if he has a good outing. And then we got Azza filling out the 19th spot on the grid. So as the driver standing stand, that's it. And here is how the team's championship is shaping up. So Big Brass Brawls Racing have only got an 8-point advantage over Brett Want and Penguin in P2. So they've really gained ground on last week's round. So those two are fighting for the team's championship as it stands, and obviously as it looks at this stage as we enter the midway point. And then P3, P4 in the championship is also really heated. Titan Snake Oil Racing and Angry Mongo's both separated by 1 point as well, but they changed positions last week. So that is a heated battle between those two teams. Devil Brew Racing sees himself in 5th after round 3. So they look pretty comfy there in P5, but they're looking to make up some points on the Angry Mongos and Titan Snake Oil Racing tonight. And we've got the 8 Raging Rookies, Front and Back Racing, and H&R Motorsports filling the 6th, 7th and 8th spot in the team's championship. So as far as that's all concerned, that is all done. So there we go. We've got Titan and number 2 Audi GT3. Then we got Someone Awesome in the number 8 Ford GTE here. We got Carcado, he's in the GTE tonight, replacing Nachos in the number 9 Ford GTE. And we got Bonicus in the number 11 Chevrolet, currently 6th in the practice standings. And we got EXO on the number 19 Ford GTE. Next up, we have Angry Oldfellow in the number 20 Chevrolet. And we got Blue XR8 and the number 31 Ferrari GT3. Should have another Ferrari coming up. No, that will be Vic in that car. I didn't change that, not Carcado. JJ Penguin in the number 43 Acura GT3. He'll be looking to make up some points tonight. And we got Ty Morgo in the number 63 Ferrari GT3. And we got Eagle Wind, who's currently P2 in the practice session in the Ferrari GTE number 68. We got Brett Want in the number 71 Ferrari GTE, currently P3 in the session. And we got Mitty in the number 93 Aston Martin GTE. And we got You'll Be Dead in the 162 Acura GT3. So a couple of Acuras on the grid here. Then we got Morningstar Mike in the Soul Lambo GT3 in the 666 car. Nice looking livery. And then we got Black Wildcats. I'm pretty sure he's running the number 148 Acura GT3. Fortunately, I don't have the livery spotted there. I'll try to organise that for next week. So at this stage, practice session is about done. Got on board with Angry, who's still out on track, and he's the lead car of the cars currently out on track. You can see him running that number 82 Chevrolet there. Basically, Chevrolet manufacturer driver here. I've never seen him out of a Chevrolet in the GTEs. He's really come accustomed to driving the Chevrolet. He's a very good pilot in this car as well. Knows the ins and outs of its pros and cons. So currently P4 with 156.7, 1.4 seconds off the pace of Someone Awesome with 155.3. Currently I don't have the sector splits or anything up here. Quickly get this stuff up. He's run with a low fuel load here. He's only got 3 litres left. So this must have been a qualifying run from Angry as he crosses the line. And no improvement. So see if anyone else is actually on a hot lap here. Mitty, bangled up Aston Martin there. Vic, he's back tonight. Not sure what he's running. He's running the Aston Martin as well. And we've got Black Wildcats still out on track. So coming across the control line now for Vic. Is this going to be any improvement for him? No, it's not. Now on board with Black Wildcats. So no, he's in the Porsche tonight. Oh, and I've just got confirmation that Dean will be in Penguin's car tonight. So the Acura number 43. So I did think I saw Penguin in the lobby, but obviously not. There are your results after the practice session. So it's Someone Awesome leading the pack by 7/10 over Eagle Wind in P2. Closest championship rival to Someone Awesome, Brett Want, filling the P3 spot there with 156.4. So he's got a lot of pace to find in the qualifying session if he's to challenge Someone Awesome for a race win tonight. And we've got Angry, Carcado, Bonicus, Titan, first of the GT3 drivers rather. He's got wicked pace in that Audi GT3 vehicle, 159.5 as the lead GT3. And we got XL and P8, Ty Morgo P9, and round out the top 10 is Blue XR8. We got You'll Be Dead, Mitty, Vic, Morningstar Mike, Black Wildcats, and Dean will fill spots 11 to 16. So we're about to get into the qualifying session here at Brno. So we'll just wait for the guys to flick it over to the next session. I think they're trying to negotiate getting Dean in as well. Should be too far off now. Alright, here we go. Qualifying one, 10-minute session. So the guys should be almost out of pit lane, considering this is probably one of the longer tracks on the calendar. It's almost a 2-minute lap time if you're in a GT3, but as for the GTE guys, you're looking at the pace setter and someone awesome, a 155, but then the rest of the GTE grid is averaging in the 156s, so there's a huge differential in the times comparing the two GT3s and the GTEs, so this is one of the tracks that I reckon we'll see a fair few of the GT3 guys get lapped. Not in the shorter race, that is, but maybe the longer race. So here we go. We're on board with Mitty here. I'll get every bit of detail up on screen here. So Mitty, he's the lead car here in the Aston Martin number 95. Currently in the mid-sector now. Now we got tyre bundles on the insides of these chicanes here, and they're quite disastrous if you manage to scrape it on entry, because you'll sustain quite a lot of damage if you do that. So the driver's got to be careful of them. But as for drivers trying to exceed track limits, they would hope that they're taken out before they try to go as far to the inside as possible. So here we go. We're on the back straight now here at Brno. On board with Mitty, and it looks like he either has Egwind or Brett Want in behind in that Ferrari GTE. Now he looks to have the lights on in the background there. So here we go. He's letting whoever that is pass. Quickly have a look at who it is. So that's not Eaglewin, that's Brett Want there in the Ferrari. So number 71 there. So we'll get cockpit view up. Oh, a little bit taily on entry there. Barely held on to it. So there's a little bit of time loss there for Brett, and it's really suffering throughout this lap at this stage. So a very loose car setup here for Brett. Doesn't have the rear grip as of yet. Be hoping the tyres kick in halfway through this lap so he can at least gain some time towards the end of the lap to get a decent banker lap in. And it's really slidey for him. Not sure how much aero he's running, but the tyre temps look to be up to where they need to be now, because there was no evidence of extra oversteer back there. But this will be the big test for him here. It looks like next time around will be a quicker lap time. This first sector was a bit mediocre, with the rear setting himself out a little bit on exit of the slow corners. Get back to trackside view. He's got a decent lead between himself and the car behind, which is Eaglewind there. So Eaglewind in the Ferrari behind. I reckon Eaglewind, he might get the quickest lap after Brett Want here. So a 158.4 for Brett, so that's way off the pace they were setting in practice. Eaglewind comes in behind, 1/10 off the pace, and Carcado in P3 with a 159.2. Ty Morgo, the lead GT3 there with a 2:02. And we got Mitty with a 2 minutes and 2 seconds 0.6 there in the Aston Martin. So he's got a little bit of time to find here. So we've got halfway through this qualifying session now. So the guys really got to punch in quick laps now. Now someone awesome, he goes provisional pole, 159.6. He's replicated his practice lap time. And that might be cemented pole position there for someone awesome. But we've still got half the qualifying session remaining. We're on board Brett Want here. He's looking to get that time. Currently in the mid-sector. We'll stay on board up until the end of the mid-sector to see what the timing split is. And we might go on board with Titan, who's currently in P6. He's not the lead GT3 driver, but he's 1/10 off it. That title has gone the time Morgo. He's currently sitting P5. That's an awesome lap time from him. But as for GT3 pole position, we're looking at a 1:59 to cement that. So 1.1 second up for Brett Want here. Is he capable of gaining another 2.5 at least? I doubt it, because it's only one sector to go and it's basically one straight, a couple of corners. So he's got Egwin slotted up in behind him. So they're going to replicate pretty much the same lap time, these two. So here we go, across control line for Brett, and that's going to be P2, but Egwin pips him on P2. That's a 1:55.9 for Egwin. So awesome pace by him to see him 3/10 off someone awesome. And Angry, he's in the Chevrolet there, currently a 1:57 flat, so he's got a little bit of time to find. So I did say we'll hop on board with Titan here. He's in the last sector, so we'll stay on board. He's got to at least gain 1:10 for this provisional pole position for the GT3 class. So entering the last couple of corners now. So we've got 3 minutes left in this qualifying session. So across the control line for Titan, what's this going to be? It's going to get provisional pole in GT3, overall P7. With a 2-minute flat there, good time from him. Go back on board with Angry. He's almost half a second up on his time on exit of the mid-sector. So we're on the back straight now. 2 more corners to negotiate here. He's got the Acura of one of the guys here. I think that You'll Be Dead, the reigning champ. 3.2 litres on board for Angry, so this will be the last time round he can actually get a full lap done, because that is not going to get him home for the next lap. So half a second quicker, and that puts him up in the P3. So he's 1 second off the pace here. He looks to be going another time around. So quickly check how Egwin's running here in P2. He's got 3 attempts to gain if he's to pick someone awesome or pole position. The last couple of corners now. Ahead of him is Brett Want in the other Ferrari. So he would have benefited from the slipstream down a couple of these straights here. Across the line, it's half a second slower. So unfortunately not able to capitalise on getting a faster time here to put himself in a prime spot for the race. So Ty Morgo, he's decided to park it. We'll quickly track how You'll Be Dead is going, the reigning champ. He's currently in the mid-sector now. Overall P9, P3 in the GT3 class, guys. So he's looking pretty quick in this Acura. Someone awesome set a new fastest lap, going 1/10 faster than his quickest 1:55.4. So awesome lap by him to further cement pole position there. So You'll Be Dead. He's got a minute to get across the line. He might have another time around as well. So he's about to exit the mid-sector here. What's this split going to be? So no, he might be on an outlap. So we didn't get a sector split there for You'll Be Dead. So we'll quickly hit up Brett Want, who's in the wallway, so we go on board with him. He's hit the tyre bundle on the inside of one of the chicanes there, and he's really stuffed up that opportunity. We'll go on board with Carcato, currently P5 in the 4GT GTE, replacing Nachos for this round in the number 9. So you can see the tyres all over the place after that inside contact between the tyres and Brett Want there. So Carcato, he's decided to park it. Now we're on board with Bonicus, who's currently P6 overall. 3 seconds off the pace of Someone Awesome's pole position lap. So you can see the disparity between the GT3 class and the GTE class in this race. It's one that really shows the deficiencies and the differences in both these classes of cars. Because it's a very fast flowing circuit, a high average speed. You would expect the GTE guys to be extremely quicker. So hence why the difference in time from GTE pole position to GT3 pole position is 4.6 seconds. So across the line now for Bonicus, no improvement. We'll go on board with Exo. He's stuck down in P11. And he's half a second down on his quickest lap. He's got to have a ripper of a last sector. He's got Black Wildcats right up in behind him in that Porsche. Just curious to think that it's definitely a GT3 Porsche there for Black Wildcats. There's only 2 liveries for the GTE Porsches, and that isn't one of them. So across the control line now for Exo. Has he gained the time in the last sector to improve? No, he has not. He remains P11. Black Wildcats across the line. He was in P15. So top 6 drivers, all GTE drivers. So Black Wildcats didn't improve there. So Someone Awesome, wonderful pole position lap there. Awesome qualifying performances for him, and that's why he's the championship leader, because he's always getting track position. And we've got Eagle Wind and P2, not enough to pick Someone Awesome of pole position, but that is a very good qualifying performance for him. Brett Want rounding out the top 3, second off the pace, and we've got Angry, who's barely separated from P3 in Brett Want, so he's unlucky not to be at least one position up ahead. We've got Carcato rounding out the top 5 there. We've got Bonicus in P6, Titan P7, Time Morgo P8, You'll Be Dead in P9, Blue XR8 rounding out the top 10. So we're here at the grid now. So championship leader sees himself on pole position. So wonderful qualifying performance there, as well as Eagle Wind joining him on the front row for P2. Good qualifying performance for him. Unfortunately for him, he's stuck down in P7 in the championship, so it's a prime time starting from P2 to gain back hay on the championship lead. Then we got Brett Want in P3, closest championship rival to Someone Awesome in P1. Currently P2 in the championship by 29 points, so he's looking to gain a little bit of points advantage over Someone Awesome this time around. Alongside him, Angry, P4. On the second row of the grid. He's had a good performance last round to see himself in the top 4 in the championship. And we've got Carcato rounding out the top 5. We've got Bonicus in P6, Exo in P7. And then we've got Mitty in P8, round out the GTE guys. Then we've got Titan, he's the first of the GT3 runners. Then we got Time Morgo there in P10. You'll Be Dead, reigning champ in P11. Blue XR8 in P12. Morningstar Mike in P13. Vic MP14 and Black Wildcat seem to have been getting into a bit of trouble in qualifying after being a little bit off the pace. Sees himself in P15. So back to the front of the grid we go for race 1 of round 4 of the COVID Cup here for Go2Whoa. So Someone Awesome, he's got the lights on. We're about to go green here. And we're underway for round 4, race 2. And it seems as though Someone Awesome got bogged off the line. Awesome start from Brett Want, who's trying to send it up the inside, heading into turn 1. Is he able to make the move? No, he's way too far back. So Someone Awesome will lead the race after turn 1. Who leads over Brett Want in P2, and then Eagle Wind rounding out the top 3. We've got a car off in the background there of Blue XR8, the Ferrari. Carcato in P4, and Angry's lost the position. He's back in P5 now. Bonicus in P6, Time Morgo all the way up into P7, Exo in P8. We've got Morningstar Mike in P9. Titan, he's lost a few positions. He's in P10. Then we got reigning champ, You'll Be Dead alongside him. He seems to be in the Lambo here in P11. Then we got Vic in P12. Black Wildcats up a couple in P13. Mitty in P14, so he's had an awful start. Then we got that awful start off the first turn for Blue XR8. He was rotated, so unfortunate scenes there for him. He's got a lot of catching up to do in the next 8 laps or so. So it's someone awesome. He's got a 1.2 second lead over Brett Want, so he's already extended this lead out to quite a huge margin, and we're not even halfway through the lap. So he's got tremendous amount of pace on board that Ford GT. So we might actually have to go further back to spectate Brett Want here, who's under pressure by Egwin. The car behind, he started P2 and he's been relegated back to P3. So it's Ford position 1, Ferrari P2, P3. Then we got Ford P4, and then we got Chevy P5. And we got a Ferrari there, a Time Morgan on the GT3 class, and P6. He's trying to hold off Exo there, who's in the GTE. He's doing a very good job in doing so. So Brett Want, that lead just stagnated between him and someone awesome. 1.3 seconds across the line. Now he's extended that advantage over Eaglewind as well. So the advantage there is 1.3 seconds to drift from P2 to P3 there. Carcado, he's right on the rear bumper of Eaglewind. No, he isn't. It is Carcado, who's under extremes amount of pressure from Bonicus, the Chevrolet behind. See the sparks there out of the side. So we might go on board with Bonicus here, trackside view. Get track map up as we go on board here with Bonicus. He's chasing down Carcado on P4. Both in the GTE class, so they're both looking to maximise their point pool tonight. Both in the top 5, but any position further up is a bonus. So no doubt Bonicus will be wanting to take P4 off of Carcado here. He's a little bit too far back to make a move anytime soon, but let's see if he can make ground in the next 2 sectors. So he's gained a little bit of ground off the exit of that corner. Heading into the double apex hairpin now. It's a very long corner this one as we enter sector 3 on exit here. So right on the rear bumper now, Bonicus on Carcado. So Carcado really be feeling the pressure now, and he's went wide. Bonicus is trying to send it up the inside, but get the traction off exit. And he's had to slot in behind Carcado for a little while longer. So we're on lap 2 of lap 8. We're about to enter lap 3 here as the leader, Someone Awesome, has clicked over to lap 3 now. Last lap a 156.2, a 156.5 from Brett Want in P2. So that gap has extended to 1.5 seconds now. The battle for P1. And then Eaglewind, his last lap was a 156.5. So Brett Want and Eaglewind are on par with each other. But unfortunately, the gap between them two are approximately 1.5 seconds. So Eaglewind has a lot of catching up to do in the next 6 laps if he's to get P2 off of Brett Want here. So Bonicus has actually lost a lot of time in the first sector here in comparison to Carcado. Angry in the meantime has moved himself up to P6, getting past Time Morgo there in the GT3 Ferrari. Now we got Exo in behind. Exo's in behind Time Morgo here. He's in the faster GTE. So we'll see if he can make that move on Time Morgo anytime soon. So he's trying to have a look down the inside. Remember, it's about approximately a 4-second advantage between the two cars at Brno here. It's a very high average speed type track. And obviously that really favours the GTEs around this circuit. So here we go. We'll go on board with Time Morgo as he's getting the pressure applied from Exo in behind, who's on the grass, and he's looking to make a move down at the double apex hairpin here. He's giving him a little love tap on the entry there. And he's had to slot him right behind there, Exo. Doesn't want to cop a penalty. Looking down the inside once again. And he's right on the rear bumper behind Ty Morgo. That's for Ty Morgo. He's the lead GT3 car. Really bringing it to these GTE guys. That's tremendous amounts of effort required to remain in front of these guys. Especially with the parity advantage between the two different classes at this track. Got to keep in mind this is multi-class racing here for Go2Whoa's COVID Cup. So Exo's just dropped off a little bit of pace here. We've got Titan in P9 behind. He's looking to catch up in the next few laps or so. He wants to get another GT3 win here. Currently P3 in the championship overall, and he is the lead GT3 driver in the championship as well. So he's been a usurper in this championship so far to be really bringing it to the GTE guys. He's beating the likes of Angry and Exo in a GT3 car, and that's a very hard achievement to get so far. Got a high quality grid here at Go2Whoa, and for Titan to be P3 overall in the GT3 car, it is tremendous driving from him in the first 3 rounds. Unfortunately, he doesn't see himself in the same spot as he was last week. Currently P9 overall, P2 in GT3 class. So you can see Ty Morgo in picture there. So that's who he's trying to catch up to for GT3 first place there. He's got a little bit of disadvantage between himself and Ty Morgo. It's 3 seconds as it stands. And as for the leader of the GT3 class, GTE class rather, Someone Awesome, his gap between himself and Brett Wan is 3.1 seconds. So, Someone Awesome, he's just blazing away in P1. And he's showing why he's the championship leader heading into round 4. And he's looking to extend that points advantage once again. Got to keep in mind, this is the midway through the season as well, as Titan goes out wide there on the second last corner. He looks to be regaining that momentum as he enters the main straight now across the control line. Last lap was a 2:01.8. Now that was for Ty Morgo, but a 2:01.8 for Titan as well. So they're both equal last time around. So not much time gained last lap for Titan in regards to Ty Morgo, who's currently sitting P7. We'll go on board with Angry, cockpit view, because he's chasing down Bonicus, the sister Chevrolet there. You can see him in the picture now. So Angry, he had a very good outing last round. And as a result, he moved up into the top 4 in the championship. So he's looking to gain a bit more points tonight to get past Titan in P3. But that isn't an easy thing to do. Titan is really consistent in that GT3 Audi. So if we stay on board here, we'll get the splits up. We can see his comparison to his fastest race lap. He looks to be half a second off based on his Motec system there. So 1.6 seconds off his fastest lap. So his tyres looks to be dying off, and he's right in behind Bonicus now. It might be time for trackside view as we go on board with Bonicus here. It's the Chevrolet battle here for P5. Bonicus trying to hold off a charging Angry in P6, and he's went out wide. He's really feeling the pressure now as we enter lap 6 of lap 8. And Angry's got the inside line here, and he's going to get right past Bonicus. Up in the P5 now for Angry. Good move onto the main straight there. So relatively easy move made by Angry. Move up in the P5. So Ty Morgo still holding off Exo for P7 here. These two are on lap 6. Exo, he's really trying to make the move past Ty Morgo here. But he's really struggling in the Ford. And we got Titan. He's really catching up to the rear of this pack here. The longer these two fight, the quicker Titan behind them is going to catch up to these two. Morningstar Mike, he rounds out the top 10, and Blue XR8, he's right in behind him, and he's made up a fair bit of ground considering his start to this race. He sees himself up in the P11, chasing down Morningstar Mike in P10. These two are barely separated, so Blue XR8, he might be able to make a move if he can gain a lot of ground in the next two sectors. He's running out of the laps to do so, so he's going to have to catch up soon. Stay on board with this battle. That lead of Someone Awesome's has been cut down to 2 seconds now, so Brett Want, he's really in with a chance to win this race if he can punch out a couple of good laps here. So Morningstar Mike, he's trying to hold off a charging Blue XR8 who got spun off lap 1, turn 1. He'll be driving angrily here, that's for sure. Going out wide there, Morningstar Mike. He's really under pressure now as Blue XR8 shows the nose down the inside. Not up far enough to make a move. He's trying to get into Morningstar Mike's head. He's trying to force him into a mistake. Got to keep in mind that is allowed because it is mental mind games in motorsport as well. It's just as mentally challenging as it is physically. So the driver's got to have a good mental state heading into the races. So here we go. These two are on lap 7 of lap 8. So we got 2 laps to go for Morningstar Mike and Blue XR8. They're both battling for P10. Now we're going to have to move closer for the battle for P1, as Someone Awesome's lead has been cut down to 1.5 seconds. And Eaglewind in this battle here as well. So Brett Want is trying to hold off Eaglewind in P3 behind. These two are both in the Ferrari. So equal machinery here for these two. And it's 1.4 seconds now between Someone Awesome and Brett Want. So they're halfway through lap 7 here at Brno. This is race 1 of the 2 race event. This is the shorter race of the 2. So no mandatory pit stop in this one. It's a sprint race to the end. As Brett Want gets a little bit loose on exit there. So here we go. Is Eaglewind looking to make a move? He's showing the nose down the inside around the penultimate corner. And that forces Brett Want out wide. So he's off the racing line now. And that's really favoured Eaglewind. He's going to try and make a move down the inside. But Brett Want, he covers. So awesome defensive manoeuvre for Brett Want. They're heading into turn 1. He holds on the P2, but for how long? Eaglewind, he's trying to do it on the outside. Now he's on the inside, and now it's on the outside. They're side by side as we enter turn 3. So on the defence now is Brett Want on the inside. He's been relegated back to P3. We're side by side here, and Brett Want, he's been pushed off into the inside grass there. So there might have to be a readdress there, I'm not sure. Maybe not enough racing room there from Eaglewind. So Brett Want wouldn't be too happy with the move made on him by Eaglewind. Got nudged off the track there. Some unfortunate scenes. So Carcado, he's still in P4. He's holding off Angry in P5. So 1.5 seconds separating these two. The battle for P4. Bonicus, he's 7 seconds behind Angry now. So he's lost a bit of pace in the last few laps. And Exo, he's moved up in the P7 now. So he's overtaken Ty Morgo. And this battle for the GT3 winner is starting to heat up on the last lap here as we enter the last sector. It's 1.4 seconds between Ty Morgo and Titan. And if Ty Morgo can pull this off, that's going to be a wonderful effort because Titan is pretty much clean sweep the GT3 league so far. So halfway through the mid-sector now for these two. Can Ty Morgo hold on as he tries to defend, heading into the AA picks apex hairpin here. So he's really under pressure, Ty Morgo. Can he hold on? Titan looks to have better tyre advantage here, but none of these had to have pitted in. So maybe Titan has conserved his tyres to make a charge at the end of this race. As they're bumper to bumper now on the back straight. Titan's in the slipstream here. He might be able to make a move, head into penultimate corner. Maybe not. He might have to take a completely different race line as Ty Morgo goes out wide. Titan's trying to get an overlap on the inside, but he doesn't have the traction on exit. So Ty Morgo is going to hold off for the GT3 win here. Wonderful effort from him. Wonderful effort from Someone Awesome once again. He clean swept the last round. He was back onto the winners list. 3 races in a row for Someone Awesome. Egwin comes home in P2, but there might be an investigation after that, as he gave Brett Want a little bit of a nudge in the first sector, who finished P3 provisionally. Then we got Carcado on P4. Angry rounded out the top 5. So Angry couldn't make the ground on Carcado on the closing lap. Then Bonicus coming home in P6. Exo in P7. Ty Morgo, the first of the GT3 runners, in P8. Titan in P9. And Blue, third in GT3. Overall, P10. Wonderful comeback there off after that start of the race. So here are the unofficial results after race 1 here for round 4. Race went to Someone Awesome for 156.2, almost replicating his qualifying pace. Egwin, he came home 7 tenths behind Someone Awesome in P2, and Brett Want rounding out the top 3. First 7 drivers all in GT3 class, and then from 8th to 11th is filled by GT3 guys, and Ty Morgo, Titan, Blue XR8, Morningstar Mike, Mitty struggling in the Aston Martin GTE in P12. Then we got Black Wildcats, You'll Be Dead, reigning champ, all the way back in P14, and then Vic in P15. So unfortunately for Vic, he had to retire after lap 6. So we're about to get into qualifying 2 here. Be a 5-minute qualifying session, so it'll be a 1-lap dash for every one of the guys. And if you're lucky enough, you'll be able to get a second lap out of it. I think we have Dean back in the lobby as well. So we have another GT3 runner this time around. So this race, 16 lap race with a mandatory pit stop. They're going to have to take a practice session off there. And then that qualifying session will be reduced to 5 minutes. So there we go. So we'll change for us. So Brno. Quite a technical, fast-flowing track located in the Czech Republic. It's one of the more underrated tracks in project cars. It invites a lot of close racing as well, especially in GTE, the GTE class, because it's more so made for those type of cars. And the likes of your LMP3s, LMP2s, and LMP1s, they really thrive at this track as well. So a very good endurance track. Just have a quick suss of the cars here. Quite surprised no one's winning the underrated Cadillac here for the GT3. Works good for me. So we'll just waiting to get into this 5-minute qualifying session. So I think the guys will have a little bit of a rest. So I'm going to have a little bit of rest and get a quick drink, and then we'll be right back with some more Brno action here for Go2Whoa's COVID Cup Round 4 here at Brno, obviously virtually. Got to quickly ready up. So it should still be light cloud as well for the forecast. Yep. That's something I'm going to start adding in from now on for the streams. Notify what the weather is. Alright, pretty much everyone's readied up now. We shouldn't be too far off. So I might just reiterate the current standings in the series. Just quickly scroll through this. So after that race, no doubt Southern Awesome has extended his points advantage over Brett Want. So after the qualifying results, that gap seen itself expand to 31. And then after the race, that expanded itself to 45. So predicted 45 gap in favour of Southern Awesome for the championship. So he's got a healthy lead at the top after race 1 of round 4 here at Brno. And as for the team's championship, Penguin isn't here tonight, but who was filling in for him? Black Wildcats was filling in for him in the Porsche, I think it was. Just quickly have to get that information back. No, that is Dean, who unfortunately couldn't make it in the first round. So, fortunately for Big Brass Bulls Racing, their lead is going to be extended at the top. But with Dean in this race, we should see an even points haul there for their team in second, which is nameless at this stage. Right, here we go. We're about to go into the 5-minute qualifying session for race 2. It will set the grid for race 2. Essentially a 1-lap dash, considering the lap time around here is between a 1 minute 55 and for some of the GT3 guys, maybe a 2 minutes and 2 second lap time. So that's for the GTE guys. They're the guys with the highest chance of getting a second attempt at the qualifying lap. So we'll wait and see who gets across the line first. We'll see if they can manage to scrape in an extra lap, which is a little advantage over their competitors. It was a bit unusual for Brett Want not to have the tyres up to temp on his hot lap last time around, because it's a reasonably long track. It shouldn't take too long to heat up the tyres, because we saw a bit of exit oversteer in the first and mid-second sector for him. And then the tyres started to get up the temp and we saw his car roll perfectly around the corners. So previous race winner there of Someone Awesome in the number 8 Ford GT. So 3 race wins in a row. Can he extend that count to 4 this time around? We'll wait and see. This is qualifying 2 for round 4 of the COVID Cup here at Brno. We've got Mitty there and the 2 Ferraris of Eaglewind and Brett Want there. You can see Brett Want, no, that might be Ty Morgo rather. He's in the GT3. He's really trying to heat up those tyres. And there's Brett Want in the background as Mitty goes off wide there. Ty Morgo's just trying to get out of the way of the faster GTE class guys. So it's probably beneficial because he might be able to get into the slipstream of one of these guys here, and he might be able to keep his top end speed up higher than the average GT3 car around this circuit. So it might be a very good strategy play here from Ty Morgo if he can manage to stay in the slipstream of one of these guys. See the car going off to the right hand side there of Eaglewind. So that might be a strategic play there, as Someone Awesome is the pace setter at this track. So they're both looking to stay right in behind his trail to maximise their respective lap times. So they're right bumper to bumper, these 3. Train of GTE guys trying to get the better of each other here. So they're trying to assess how Someone Awesome is actually relatively faster here at Brno. As Someone Awesome enters the penultimate corner now. So we're about to start the official hot laps here around Brno. The guys behind Someone Awesome, Eaglewind and Brett Want, they've gapped each other. So lights off for Eaglewind there. So it's a bit unusual if you're on a hot lap. So we'll go on board cockpit view here with the championship leader, Someone Awesome. So reasonably low fuel load there with 17.8 litres in the tank. It's good to see that there's a little bit more than usual for a qualifying lap, because you want a little bit more downforce at this track. Obviously you can add a little bit more downforce with a little bit more weight. And how can you add a little bit more weight? It's pretty easy. You add a little bit more fuel than you need. So that's a good strategy play there for Someone Awesome. As he's in the mid-sector now, midway through. And you can see in the rear view mirror there, the Ferrari of Eaglewind, who's right on the tail. He's been there the whole time this lap. So these 2 might actually equal each other's lap times. So we've got 1 minute 20 seconds left in this session. Dean has returned the pit lane, so we won't see a lap time recorded from Dean. So he's going to start the race in last position, unfortunately. He's filling in for Penguin tonight, who unfortunately can't sign in for PSN. So sorry to hear about that, Penguin. Hopefully we'll see you on the grid next week, mate. So we're entering the last corner with Someone Awesome now. We get back to trackside view. $156.2, but a $156.1 from Eaglewin. So they're 2 times almost equal there. Brett Want, I reckon he aborted his lap. And he's sucked in behind Blue XR8 there. Ty Morgo goes up to P3. Now Titan, the first of the GT3 runners, goes up in the P3. A 2-minute .2. Plays a 2-minute 1 flat for Blue XR8, who puts himself up in the P5. Angry up in the P3 with 157.7. So we got 5 seconds left in this qualifying session. Whoever's crossed the control line can go another time around. And unfortunately for Brett Want, he's not going to be able to record a faster lap time to put himself up into the top 4 GTE runners. So he's going to be kicking himself up for that qualifying performance, as he's looking to lose a bit more ground on the championship lead in comparison to Someone Awesome. So Someone Awesome currently see himself in the P2, and in behind him there is Eaglewin, the Ferrari. So I reckon by the looks of it, Someone Awesome, he's gapped Eaglewin a bit here, but what's the split time on exit of the mid-sector? What's the story here? So 8 temps up for Someone Awesome. Provisionally, a 155.6 is on the cards for Someone Awesome. And what does Eaglewind have in response to this? Does he have enough in the tank to get past Someone Awesome across the line? So this will be the last official lap for the drivers that are out on track. Fair majority of them almost in the 3rd sector. Across the line now for Someone Awesome, puts himself up in the P1 for 155.1. So 156.1 for Eaglewind. He cannot get past Someone Awesome in P1. So currently, Someone Awesome looking good for a clean sweep here at Brno for round 4 of Go2Whoa's COVID Cup. It's a wonderful qualifying performance from him. And once again, Eaglewind is sharing the front row with the championship leader, Someone Awesome. Angry comes across the line in P3 of a 156.3. So awesome lap by him. 3 temps down on his closest competitor in Eaglewind. But Angry, he has a grid place penalty there. So Brett Want seeing himself all the way down in P14. So awful qualifying performance for him. But he will start P8 on the grid by the looks of it. Because the drivers get split up into their respective classes, with the faster class starting up the front, and then the slower class of the GT3 class starting at the back. So here we go. Once again, another pole position for the championship leader, Someone Awesome. He is joined on the front row with Eaglewind in P2. Another wonderful qualifying performance for him. Currently P7 in the championship heading in. And he's looking to come out with a big haul of points in round 4. So we might see him move further up in the standings. Bonicus sees himself into P3 after Angry been relegated back to P4 after that grid place penalty. So it's an all Chevy second row there. Then Carcado replacing Nachos in the number 9 Ford GT tonight. Another P5 qualifying result for him. XO and P6 up 1 more position than he was last time around. A very good qualifying performance from him as well. Starting on the 3rd row. Mitty in P7. And then Brett Want. Awful qualifying performance for him. Starting all the way back on the 4th row in P8. So he's got a lot of ground to make up. We've got the first of the GT3 runners. Titan in P9. He shared the 5th row alongside with Ty Morgo. And we've got Blue XR8 in P11. Reigning champ, You'll Be Dead in P12 on the 6th row. And we've got Morningstar Mike, Black Wildcats rounding out the 7th row. And then on the 8th and final row, Dean sharing it with Vic. So that is your 16-car grid for race 2 of round 4 here at Go2Whoa's COVID Cup. We're about to go green light racing here at Brno. It'll be someone awesome leading the pack into turn 1. Assuming he can get the launch off the line here, but he is on the cleaner side of the track, on the traditional race line. But we've got to remember, someone awesome got bogged down last race, and he almost got overtaken by Brett Wan, who started P3 that time around. So here we go, we're about to go green here. We've had a little jump in the background there by the looks of it. Yeah, I reckon Mitty's had a little bit of a jump start there. So someone awesome executes off the line. And that's a wonderful start by Carcado from P5 to P2. Heading into turn 1. Awesome start. That relegates Eagle Win back in the P3. Angry's up in the P4. Exo up in the P5. Bonicus relegated back to P6. Brett 1 up 1 in P7. Type Morgo P8. Titan P9. And Dean rounding out the top 10 as we got Carnage in the background there. Once again, that's Brett 1 in the GTE Ferrari there, off in the wall. So this is championship saving stuff for someone awesome in P1. And as for Brett 1, that's disastrous for his quest in the championship. So Eagle Win 1.1 seconds behind the lead. Carcado back in the P3 now. Exo up in the P4, wonderful start from him. Ty Morgo and Titan having a battle in GT3 class. These two are fighting for P5 overall and P1 in GT3. And that's Titan trying to send it up the inside of Ty Morgo. They've both got an overlap on each other. But it's Titan having a slot in behind there. And in the background, that's the Acura of Dean. And he's gained a lot of ground off the start of this race. Morningstar Mike, he's up in the P8. Mitty, he's been relegated back in the P9, and you'll be dead. Rounding out the top 10. Black Wildcats gained a few positions up in the P11. Angry, biggest loser on the opening lap, back in P11. So him and Brett Want were probably the two drivers who got caught up in that. As Titan tries to send it down the inside, he gets the move done on Ty Morgo. Awesome move from Titan there to move up in the P1 out of the GT3 drivers. This is P6, a P5 overall. Wonderful move there. You can see Exo just in the picture there. As Ty Morgo tries to send it down the inside of turn 1. But not up far enough. He's going to have to hold him behind Titan here. So 1.7 second lead, someone awesome over Eagle Wind and P2. And Carcado a further 1.5 seconds back from Eagle Wind and P3. Now you can see Exo there in P4. So we're on lap 2 of lap 16. So Titan's got a bit of a decent gap between himself and Ty Morgo now. As we go on board with Morningstar Mike, he's getting the pressure applied from a train of Acuras behind him in Dean and You'll Be Dead, the reigning champ. So this battle here for P7 is really going to start to heat up. And we're not even into the mandatory pit stops yet. Bonicus, in saying that, he started to make his mandatory pit stop. Unfortunately, that might be for damage. So, yeah, got to keep in mind, pit lane isn't open until the end of lap 5. So we're going to see Bonicus in for another pit stop relatively soon. So back on board with Morningstar Mike. He's gapped himself between Dean in behind. And You'll Be Dead. He's really making ground on Dean. This is the battle for P8. These two are not teammates. So there is going to be no easy going here between these two, as You'll Be Dead almost made a little bit of a love tap on Dean there for P8. So Dean, he's really under pressure now from the reigning champion You'll Be Dead. Got a couple cars in the background there of Black Wildcats and Brett Want in P11. He's trying to make a charge back up to the front. So that's Dean. He's really under pressure and he's had to go to the defensive line. No, he's going to slot in behind here. So that might be a strategic move there as he tries to survive the remainder of this race. He gets chased down by Brett Want here, who's got the pace in the GTE Ferrari and surely going to make an easy move on the outside of turn 3. He might have to make it down heading into turn 4 on the outside. He gets it done. So easy move there made by the faster GTE car for Brett Want. He tries to negotiate the slower car traffic. We've got to keep in mind these GT3 guys do have right of way. They don't have to get out of the way for these guys. So back up to the front of this pack. Someone awesome who leads over Eaglewind by less than a second now. So someone awesome with a couple of mistakes on the third lap here, as he is in the last sector now. So Blue XR8 unfortunately has left the session, as well as Bonicus. He got disconnected. So we'll quickly get the splits up on screen now as we're about to enter lap 4 of 16 here at Brno. So it's almost 5/10 of a second between these two. So someone awesome last lap, he got his fastest lap of the race. But he's really under pressure by Eaglewind in the car behind. So we're going to have a closer battle for the battle for P1 this time around by the looks of it. And that's for Brett Want. He's moved up in the P7 now. So the next car in line for him is the GT3 of Ty Morgo, who's in the Ferrari. Ooh, someone awesome. He's made a mistake. So he's moved back in the P2 after that costly mistake. And there's a 5-second gap between himself and Eaglewind. So Eaglewind will really be licking his lips now. He's got a very healthy gap in P1. So at this stage, earlier on, looking very unlikely for someone awesome to get a clean sweep here at Brno. Then Exo's up in the P3, Titan's in P4. Now we've got Carcado rounding out the top 5. He's trying to chase down Titan here for P4. He's in the faster GTE class here. So shouldn't be relatively hard for him. It's just looking to make the move cleanly. As Titan tries to get out of the way there because he's not racing Carcado here. No, maybe trying to break the slipstream here. So maybe Titan is under pressure. He's trying to defend his 4th spot here. As Carcado, he tries to send it down the inside, but he can't. There's not enough room to make a move. As Titan, he plays more defensive manoeuvres. And he might be pipped to 4th position here on the back straight. The faster GTE here, trying to make a move down the inside at penultimate corner. And he's going to get it done. Easy move there for Carcado as he moves up in the P4. And Titan, he's still trying to battle here. He's stuck on the inside though, so he's going to have to slot in behind, try to get back into the slipstream of Carcado here for the battle for P4. You see Ty Morgo in the background there. You see Brett Want. He's in pit lane now, but pit lane isn't open, so he's going to have to make another pit stop, unfortunately. As for him, he looks to be coming in to repair a bit of damage. So Morningstar Mike, he sees himself up in the P7. You'll be dead in P8, and Dean, he's lost a little bit of ground on the reigning champion. You'll be dead in P8. And that's Black Wildcats rounding out the top 10 as he loses the rear there at turn 1. He takes too much of the inside curb. His tyre pressures weren't high enough to ride over the inside curb there, and as a result, He's rotated it almost 360. So a huge mistake there made by Black Wildcats. He's been relegated back to P11. As Angry moves up in the P10, you can see in the background there the Chevrolet number 92. Correction, the number 82. So we're on board with Dean here, who's got a decent gap in front of him and behind him. So as for the championship leader, his lead has been diminished and he's been relegated back to P2. And he sees himself 6.4 seconds off the lead of this race. So he's lost a lot of ground after he made that stuff up on lap 3. Correction, lap 4, sorry. He's only just crossing the control line now to start his 6th lap of the race. Last time around, he was a second off his fastest lap. So that pace is dying off in the number 8 Ford GT here, as he's got to negotiate lap traffic in midi up ahead in the Aston Martin. We got Exo currently in P3. He's doing an awesome effort. So midi just getting out of the way there, letting someone awesome right by it. Eagle Wind, he's got a 7-second advantage at the top here. Looking extremely fast, and he's looking very confident as he drives over the inside curbs. He's really got a car set up that he likes by the looks of it. He's able to drive with confidence and speed. And as for Exo, this is looking like a very good performance for him so far. Currently in P3. Got to keep in mind, back to Circuit of the Americas. He actually got a podium in that round as well. So this will be another one of those performances for him. It'll be a very good effort if he can pull it off. Still yet to make a pit stop. But none of the guys that are right in behind him have made a pit stop either. So he's in the box seat here to get on the back step of the podium. He's currently being chased down by Carcado, who last lap was almost 2 seconds quicker than Exo, so he's looking to be on the charge here. Now we got Titan in P5. Last time around was the 201.6. Closest GT3 rival for him is Morningstar Mike, back in P6. Last time around for him was the 203.5. So there's a major gap advantage there for Titan last time around. And Ty Morgo, he's been relegated all the way back to P8. So obviously last time around he's made a mistake, because last lap for him was the 207 flat. So he's lost severe amounts of pace on lap 5 there. So the leaders of this race, Eagle Wind and Someone Awesome, are both on lap 7 of lap 16, and we're yet to see majority of the field make their mandatory pit stops, as we're currently on board with Ty Morgo, and you can see Brett Want in the background there. And he's got Angry fighting him there as well by the looks of it. So Angry looks to be under pressure by Dean, but Dean's in the slower of the two class cars. So Angry should be able to gap himself and Dean in the next 2 laps or so. So you can see the disparity between the two car classes off the last 2 corners, because Angry has already gapped himself between about 1.2 seconds there in the last second between himself and Dean. And then you got Brett Want up in P9 there. So you can see all these guys in screen now. So Brett Want, after that accident at lap 1, turn 4 there, he's trying to make a charge up into the top 5. Got to keep in mind, he came into this round in 2nd place in the championship, and he was 25 points down on championship leader. No, correction, 24 I think it was, on Someone Awesome, who's currently up into P2. So it's Eagle Wind who leads over Someone Awesome by 7 seconds. So that's a huge gap, and we're not even halfway through this race. So looks to be a good effort from Eagle Wind in the early stages, but we're still yet to see the pit stops start to happen between these guys. got to keep in mind, Brno, he did make a pit stop, but due to pit lane being closed, he still has to make another pit stop to serve his mandatory pit stop. So he's still got to come in for that one. So these guys are in the last sector now. We'll go on board with Eagle Win. We might actually chuck it on cockpit view. Or actually, we might go on board with Carcado, and he'll take you for a lap around this circuit of Brno. So I'll shut up for the next lap. Enjoy a lap on board Carcado's Ford GT. On that lap. So we see the front two guys in Eagle Win and Southern Awesome making their mandatory pit stops as Eagle Win exits pit lane now. Southern Awesome has also exited his pit boom. He's just exited pit lane. Got no traffic to negotiate out the main straight there, so he sees himself come out in P4. So we're still yet to see Exo and Carcado come in to make their mandatory pit stops. So you'll see them start to go down the order once they're in the pits. And Morningstar Mike, in the meantime, has come in to serve his mandatory pit stop, as well as Brno. So even though he made that early pit stop to repair some damage, unfortunately for him, he's still got to go in to make another pit stop to serve his mandatory pit stop, because pit lane was closed from laps 1 to 5. You're not permitted to enter pit lane to serve that mandatory pit stop until the end of lap 5, and that is why you see him in pit lane once again. Dean and Black Wildcats, they're also in pit lane as well. That's Eagle Win in the background there. So Carcado, he's really under pressure from Eagle Win in behind, who's made his mandatory pit stop. So it might be a strategic move to pit in this lap for Carcado. You've got a charging Eagle Win in behind as they go side by side down the back straight. And it looks like Carcado's going to slot in behind here, and he does. See Southern Awesome, the championship leader, in the background there. So penultimate corner now for these two guys. So Exo, he's opted to go another lap around. No, he hasn't. So he's drifted off in the pit lane. So good strategy there by Exo to try undercut Carcado, to try gap himself between himself and Carcado a little bit more. So we're on lap 10 of lap 16. And that was a very quick pit stop for Exo. So we're on board with the race leader here. So it's Eagle Win who leads over Carcado by 1.4 seconds. Carcado yet to make a mandatory pit stop. And he's slowing down here by the looks of it. So it may have been copped with a slowdown penalty, as he's drifted off a bit now. 2 seconds is the gap between Eagle Win and Carcado now. So Eaglewind, he's in a league of his own in P1. And the gap between himself and Someone Awesome is 7.5 seconds. So Someone Awesome, he's losing a lot of time in comparison to the race leader in Eaglewind. So that early mistake made by Someone Awesome has really cost him a shot at another race win here. And it's looking highly likely Eaglewind is going to be able to get here victorious at Brno. So we're in the last sector now, and he's only 2 seconds off, 2 tenths off his fastest lap here. So he's really on the pace, Eaglewind. He's got to negotiate lap traffic here with Mitty in the Aston Martin. So there's Carcado, and then you've got Someone Awesome, the championship leader. So these guys will be on lap 11 of lap 16. So there you go, Mitty's going to drift off the racing line there and just let the faster guys through. So good awareness for him as Carcado drifts off in the pit lane now. So the question is Exo going to be able to get past him? And by the looks of it, he is, as he enters the penultimate corner. So Carcado's only in his pit box now, and Exo, he's going to have the top end speed as they enter turn 1. So you can see Carcado in pit lane there. Is he exiting? So he's still in his pit box. So that's an easy move made up in the P3 for Exo. Might stay on board with Titan as we go on board cockpit here, and he will take you around for a lap. So this will be more of a comparison between the GT3 lap you saw of Carcado. So I'll shut up for now and enjoy a lap from Titan's point of view in the Audi GT3. Board with Titan there for a lap around the Brno circuit. We are back to trackside view as he's getting chased down by Angry Old Fella by the looks of it. He's in the Chevy there in the number 82. So he's in the faster GTE spec car in comparison to Titan's GT3 spec car. So these guys are on lap 12 of lap 16. So laps ticking down for Angry to make the move on his closest rival in the championship in Titan. So these two, P3 and P4 respectively. So huge ramifications here if Angry can move up into P4 at this race, because I reckon he'll move up in the P3 in the championship. So the gap between Eaglewind and Southern Awesome has diminished to a 5.2 second gap in favour of Eaglewind, so he's lost a little bit of time on the last 2 laps. So Titan, he's really under pressure by Angry now. And as for Titan, he's on the defensive line on the main straight now. And I'm not sure if he's made a mandatory pit stop. As we enter turn 1, double apex right-hander. So almost side by side here as Angry tries to go on the outside heading into turn 4. We saw this made move by Brett wanting to get stunned before the corner. So awesome move there for Angry to move up in the P4. So here we go, battle between Black Wildcats in and Midi. So these two both in different spec cars. Black Wildcats in the GT3 spec and Midi in the GTE spec. As he tries to make a move on the outside of Black Wildcats up in the P13. Gets the move done with relative ease. So good move there from Midi in the faster GTE vehicle there. Trying to spot up a battle here, but this is the closest as far as it's going. It's the battle for P4 between Angry and Titan, but both completely different spec cars. Angry in the faster GTE spec. He's 1.9 seconds off his fastest lap. So the pace looks to be dying off for Angry here in the later stages. So you can see the two leaders in Eaglewind and Southern Awesome, they're in a league of their own in P1 and P2. They're in the mid-sector on lap 14. And as for the lead of this race, Eaglewind currently holds a 4.3 second lead now. So the lead between Eaglewind and Southern Awesome is diminishing even further. And that's Exo up ahead. So Angry's made a lot of ground on Exo, and he's in a chance to fight for a top 3 spot here. So Exo's going to be under severe amounts of pressure here at Brno. And that's Midi off to the right-hand side there. As we enter the mid-sector now for these guys. And Angry, he's looking to make a move down the inside. Does he? Deeper on the brakes he goes and gets it done. Wonderful move to move up in the P3 for Angry. He's going to come home with a huge points haul tonight. And he should be able to move up in the P3 in the championship as Midi has rotated. And Exo has to make evasive action there and he has to go off the track. So we might lose another position to Titan. So the lead between Eaglewind and Southern Awesome extended to 5.5 seconds. So looks like Eaglewind's starting to cement that lead at the front here as they enter lap 15 of 16. So here's Eaglewind. We haven't had much screen time with him. But he's looking quite healthy for a race win here at Brno. Currently in the mid-sector of lap 15 and 16. So he's not too far off on completion of this race. So next lap around, he should be able to keep it easy because he's got a 4.9 second gap between himself and someone awesome. So doesn't need to push the limits because he's got a healthy gap in hand. So with that in mind, he should be able to get home in first position. And we'll go on board cockpit view as he takes you around for a lap. I'll sort of commentate it this time around. So he's really having to nurse the tyres home by the looks of it. So last time around, 1.2 seconds off his fastest lap. So we're entering turn 1. He's taken a wider approach. So he's looking to get as much traction on exit. As you can see, the change in direction from right to left. Didn't have any evidence of exit oversteer. So his car setup looking quite good in the later stages. As he takes a wide approach once again heading into turn 4. Trying to stay off the inside curbs. So maybe the tyre pressures are really out of hand to really attack the inside curbs. So I'm quite surprised we still see a tyre bundle there. So we're in the most technical section of this circuit. There's a lot of right, left, right type of stuff around this section. And it's very slow stuff as well. Slow mid-corner speed between 100 and 120 kilometers around this section of the track. So 3.6 seconds is the advantage for Eagle Wind in favour over Someone Awesome in P2, the championship leader. So we're about to enter the last sector now, and he's going to get a very deserved victory here at Brno, Eagle Wind. So just staying off the inside curbs here, and he's going to bring it home with relative ease. And it looks like Angry, he's going to round out the top 3. And we've got XO P4, Carcado P5. The first of the GT3 runners, Titan in P6, and then Ty Morgo in P7, Brett Warren in P8, and Morningstar Mike in P9, and reigning champ You'll Be Dead rounding out the top 10 so far. So wonderful race win from Eagle Wind to stop Someone Awesome in his tracks. He was on board for a 4th race win in the row, but couldn't come to fruition as he made a mistake earlier on in the race. So as for the gaps between these guys, they look to be pretty big. So as you see the standings now, that's more than likely how they're going to stay. You can see Vic in that Hot Wheel livery there. So there you go, Someone Awesome finishes in P2. Angry, he's going to come across the line in P3. And you got Carcado, he's moved up in the P4 now. So Exo, he's made a mistake as he's under pressure by Titan in P6. So this is going to be very close over the line between these 3. So Titan, he couldn't get past Exo there in the closing stages. So Exo rounds out the top 5. And then Brett Warren, he's moved up a position up in the P7. This time Morgo, he's been relegated back to P8. Morningstar Mike is going to come home in P9. And You'll Be Dead, the reigning champ, in P10. Vic has finished in P11. Dean on his roof in P12. Black Wildcats coming across the line in P13. And then Mitty in P14 there in the Aston Martin GTE. So that rounds out your grid there as we go on board with Eagle Wind. It's getting crashed into there. You can see the championship leader doing a couple of burnouts there. So there we go. There are your unofficial results for race 2 of round 4 of the COVID Cup, hosted by Go2Whoa. So as for round 4, that is done and dusted. Next time I will see you probably tomorrow night, because I've got a league race tomorrow night. I might live stream that. That will start at about 7 o'clock Melbourne time, I think it is. But as for this Sunday, there is no live streams for any broadcasted races this Sunday, because it is Mother's Day. So neither of the Sunday series nor Race on Oz's Pagny and GT3 series will be on. So those will both start up next week on the 17th of May. So they'll start up then, but we'll still have racing next Wednesday for Go2Whoa's round 5 of the COVID Cup. I forgot where it's actually at, so I might have to get back to you on that. But as for now, this is done and dusted here. I've been Man on End, and I'll see you tomorrow night. Goodbye, guys.